What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Raider World. So in this episode on the El Dorado project, we have the Touring Saddlebag LED Latch Covers from Hogworks. All right, so welcome back to another episode on the El Dorado project. So here we have the Saddlebag LED Latch Covers from Hogworks. This is a great addition to the bike. Not only do they look cool, but they also add that extra layer of security while you're riding down the road. We all know these Harleys don't come with any lighting on the side, so while you're riding down the road, those drivers might be able to hear you, but they might not see you. Also, you're elevating your game, whether you have black reflectors or red reflectors, and you want to change from black to chrome or chrome to black, you can easily do that by adding a set of these. This is a really simple install. I'm just gonna do one saddlebag, and it's gonna be the exact same thing for the other saddlebag. I'll show you exactly how it's done. We'll get this unboxed and install on the bike. All right, so in the box, you have your two LED inserts, you have your two latch covers, you have your wiring harness, which acts as a splitter, zip ties, cable tie mounts, and your instructions. Now there are several LED latch covers out there, but what I really like about this design from Hogworks is that you can mount your latch cover and then mount your light. You can see exactly where you need to drill your hole so you can route your wiring. All right, so for tools, I did use a drill. Now the instructions did call for a 7/16 drill bit. I didn't have that, so I used a step drill bit along with a regular drill bit to drill my pilot holes. Now I did use a Phillips head screwdriver along with a T15 and a T25 Torx, cable tie mounts along with zip ties that came in the kit, cable tie cutters, a deburring tool, some clear silicone waterproof sealant, a marker. I did use a bungee cord. Now I did use some grommets that came out of a grommet kit that I used, some dielectric grease, and some painter's tape. Now there are different methods to switching out your latch covers. You can take the saddlebags off and do it on the table, but I'm gonna do it while it's still mounted to the bike. Now because I do have a speaker mounted to the lid, I am gonna use a bungee. I'll secure it to the latch hinge and then secure it to the latch. This is gonna help me support the lid. So first thing I'll do is remove the strap. You do have two screws right here. Now yours might be Torx screws, but these are Phillips head screw. So now just to remove the latch, you have these three screws. Now your screws might be different, but for me, I have three Phillips head screws. Now when you're taking out that last screw on your latch cover, just make sure you're still supporting your lid. Also, make sure you have a hold of your latch cover so it doesn't fall on you. Now I do suggest if you have anything inside your saddlebags to go ahead and take it out. Also remove any liners. Now before I mount the light and route the wiring, I'm gonna dry fit my latch and then mark where I need to drill my hole. So I'll drill a pilot hole first. Now the instructions do say to use a 7/16 bit. I don't have one of those, so I will be using a step drill bit, and I'll make the hole just large enough where I can fit my wiring. Now if you have a deburring tool, you could also use this to make the hole larger. Now hopefully in the future, Hogworks does add some grommets to this kit. Now no water should get inside your bag where this hole is located, but if you want to add some silicone sealant, you can add that just to prevent any water from getting inside your bag. Now that I have my hole drilled, I'll mount the latch. Same thing, you have three screws. Now before you run the wiring, just make sure you have the correct LED light. Now I'll just run the wiring through the latch and then through the bag. Now before you secure your LED light to the latch, you want to make sure you have a clean surface. So on the back of the LED light, you have this 3M tape. I'll go ahead and peel the backing off and stick it on. So I'll apply some even pressure for about 30 to 60 seconds. Now that I have the LED light mounted onto the latch, I'll open up the lid and I'll reattach the lid strap. Now I'll take my grommet. I did cut a slit. I'll run it over the wiring and install it to the bag. Now that I have the LED latch attached to the bag and my wiring ran through, I'm gonna take the saddlebag off so I can drill my hole on the other side. So I have my spot picked out where I want to drill my hole. Just note that the wiring on the LED light is not very long, so you want to make sure you give yourself enough slack so you can reach the connector. So same thing, I'm going to drill a pilot hole, and again, I'll use my step drill bit. And same thing here, I'll use a deburring tool to clean this up. Now I will do the same thing on this side. I'll add a grommet. So I did run the wiring behind the lid strap, just gives you a little bit more room. Now for the cable tie mounts that come in the kit, you have some 3M tape on the back. You just peel this backing off and stick it on. Now because I already have some cable tie mounts for my speaker wiring, I'm just gonna use the existing cable tie mounts. I'll cut these zip ties off and then I'll route this wiring along here. Now I'll remove the seat so I can get the wiring harness connected. Now this box attached to the wiring is most likely the decoder. This just relays the signal to the light, whether it's a run, stop, or turn signal. Now for whatever model bike you have, you usually have a gray connector and a black connector. The gray connector is running up towards the front, that controls your fuel tank, and then you have a black connector that controls your rear lighting. Now it could be located here, or it could be located right here. So what I'll do is disconnect this connector right here. You just have this push tab, push down on it to release. So this wiring harness acts as a splitter and it only goes on one way. So you'll just push it in until you hear it click. Now with these two leads, one goes to your right and one goes to your left. Now these aren't labeled which one's your left and which one's your right. So what you'll have to do is just turn on your bike, connect these, and then see which one's your left and which one's your right. I'll go ahead and add some dielectric grease to the connectors. And here I'll just add some silicone sealant so nothing gets inside the bag. Now I do have the Hogworks saddlebag liners with the custom gold stitching. I'm a huge fan of these custom liners and these work out great because it's going to cover up all this wiring. So it's going to be the exact same thing on the other side.